Hebrews 11 verse 1. Now faith is the certainty of things hoped for, a proof of things not seen. Hebrews 11 is often called the Hall of Faith. It introduces a long list of ordinary men and women who trusted God even when they could not see how everything would turn out. Before mentioning people like Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Rahab, the writer first defines what biblical faith actually is. The verse says that faith is the certainty of things hoped for. The word translated as certainty carries the idea of a firm foundation, confidence, or assurance. Biblical hope is not wishful thinking. It is not crossing your fingers and hoping life somehow works out. In the Bible, hope is a confident expectation based on the character and promises of God. The world often says, "I'll believe it when I see it." Faith says, "I trust God because He has proven Himself trustworthy, even when I cannot yet see the outcome." The second part of the verse describes faith as a proof of things not seen. This does not mean faith ignores evidence or shuts off the mind. Rather, faith recognizes that God exists and that His word is true, even when our physical eyes cannot perceive what He is doing. We cannot see the wind, yet we observe its effects. We cannot see love, yet we experience its reality. We cannot physically see tomorrow, yet we make plans for it. In a similar way, Christians trust the unseen God because He has revealed Himself through creation, Scripture, the person of Jesus Christ, and His faithful work throughout history. What this means for us today. Modern life is filled with uncertainty. People worry about finances. They wonder whether they will have enough money to pay their bills. Parents worry about their children and the choices they will make. Young adults wonder if they will ever find a right spouse or meaningful work. Older believers may struggle with declining health, loneliness, or questions about the future. Faith does not eliminate these realities. Faith does not pretend that problems do not exist. Faith is choosing to trust God in the middle of uncertainty. When you lose your job and continue praying, believing that God will provide, that is faith. When medical reports are discouraging, yet you entrust yourself to God's wisdom and goodness, that is faith. When relationships are broken and you continue to forgive, love, and hope because God commands it, that is faith. When the culture mocks biblical values and you continue to follow Christ, that is faith. Faith is not the absence of fear. Many heroes in Hebrews 11 undoubtedly experienced fear. Noah had never seen a worldwide flood. Abraham left his homeland without knowing where he was going. Moses confronted Pharaoh despite the enormous danger involved. Their greatness was not found in having perfect courage. Their greatness was found in trusting a perfect God. Faith has an object. This is important. Faith itself is not magical. The power is not in how much faith we possess, but in whom our faith rests upon. A small amount of faith placed in the faithful God is stronger than enormous confidence placed in something unreliable. Christian faith rests upon God the Father, the finished work of Jesus Christ, and the promises found in Scripture. Jesus' death and resurrection provide the ultimate reason for confidence. Because Christ conquered sin and death, believers can trust Him with both today's struggles and eternity. A challenge for today. Ask yourself, what unseen promise of God am I struggling to believe? Am I relying only on what I can see, measure, and control? Where is God inviting me to trust Him more deeply? Faith does not answer every question immediately. Faith takes God's hand when the road ahead is unclear. Hebrews 11 verse 1 reminds us that the Christian life has always been lived this way, trusting the God we cannot see because He has repeatedly shown Himself faithful. Even when the future is hidden from our eyes, it is never hidden from His, and because of that, we can move forward not in blind optimism, but in confident trust.